This is Zati from For this video, I'm going to talk about composition. When we are talking about composition, we are talking about what your camera sees. Composition is critical. If you want to take powerful photos, it's one of the most important parts of photography. You probably already heard about things like the rule of thirds or the golden ratio, or maybe even golden triangles. And if you never heard of this, these basically are like predefined mathematical formulas to make photographs look nice and balanced. But all these are guidelines and they are super subjective, so they are not compulsory. So often it can be really easy when we want to get a shot to just throw up the camera and snap, then go for it without any second thought. But if just take a moment and think your next shot with this tips in mind, I guarantee it will make a huge impact on your photos. Let's get started. Number 1. The rules of thirds. These rules comes down with the basic principle that things look really good when you put points of interest on the thirds of your frames. Or, in simple words, you divided your photo into 9 individual pieces and you want your main part of your photo to fall on either a line or in the intersection in between two lines. The reasons why people claim that this rule works is because when you have a shot of anything, you have got a crazy number of things that people could focus on. But if we place a main subject on the third of the shot, now we are saying, okay, this is where I'm going to start looking when I look at this shot. This rule helps the viewer to find something to look at or a focus point by simplifying the photos. Now, our next one is the golden ratio. As I said earlier, these rules are a mathematical formula. Thankfully, you don't have to understand the math behind the golden ratio in order to apply it to your photography. So, what is golden ratio? Okay, golden ratio is basically dividing your image into a series of rectangles and then follows a spiral all the way around to the focal point of your photo. If you place a point of interest on the smallest part of the spiral, the eyes will naturally flow through the rest of the image. So, imagine this shape is placed over the image and place your subject in the smallest part of the spiral. Both the spiral and grid are good shapes to keep in mind as you compose your image. One may work better for one type of image while the other for another shot. For example, the grid tends to work well for composing landscapes, while the spiral is often used for portraits, placing the subject's eyes in the smallest part of the spiral. Why the golden ratio, you ask? Okay, here's the answer. The golden ratio is perfectly balanced, and the balance makes it pleasing to the human eye. Because of this, the golden ratio crosses from myth over into art. The Mona Lisa and the Last Supper, for example, are both paintings that use this golden ratio. In photography, the golden ratio can be used to identify the main subject while still leading the viewer's eye through the entire image. Like the rules of thirds, the golden ratio is simply a compositional tool. The golden ratio as either a spiral or a grid can help you to place the subject within the frame in the best way possible. While it's based on mathematical principle, you don't have to understand the number behind it. Simply imagine that spiral or grid shape is placed over your image and get to shooting. Alright guys, we got one more for you, and this is called the golden triangle. The golden triangle is instead a classical rule of composition used in paintings and photography. This timeless rule states that to create a harmonious image, the main subject should describe the shapes of a triangle. The reason this kind of arrangement exudes peace while the symmetry conveys clarity and harmony. Now, this works really well for diagonals in your photo. In order for you to apply this rule is by drawing an imaginary diagonal line across your frame. Now, draw imaginary lines from the other two corners, which each meet the long line at the right angles. Your points of interest are where the lines meet. Use them to place your focal point. For example, the eyes in portraits, and use the lines to divide your frame and draw the eye to the focal point to help create dynamic images. With the golden triangle, you give yourself a means of dividing the frame in a way that is frequently more pleasing to the eye than a horizontal or vertical split. As well as using the lines to draw the eye to focal points, the use of triangles in the frame brings balance to the image. Think of one half as blue and the other as yellow, or shadow versus light. Alright guys, that's really all there is to it. It's all very well knowing the theory. What about the practice? Try portrait with your subject leaning into the frame and the eyes on a point of interest. Use all of these rules to place bridges in your frame and have the eye travel along them to a focal point. Just give it a try. You never know. That's all from me. See you in the next one.